So now you've got people coming to your profile on hashtag. See, I've got it in the brain on Instagram, and you have a link at the top of your profile. Because again, taking the same analogy that you've actually coined, which is have you meet somebody for lunch, you don't say, hey, nice to meet you, how much are you going to give me, right? You establish a relationship, but at some point they do want to know, you know, the caliber of your fish and chips, right? But right, to go back to our Greg and the fish and chip shop. So presumably in amongst the photographs that we're putting up there about our passions, we're also passionate about the work that we do. So we're going to include some photographs that reflect the caliber of the work that we do. And that might also include thought leadership and other stuff as well. But at the top of the profile, there is what I think of as the follow-up, right? The follow-up. And every meeting,
call to action.
the CTA, exactly. But that's the same in a lunchtime meeting as, hey, it was great to meet you. What's our next step, right? You're going to do this. I'm going to do that, da, da, da. On Instagram or in social media, it is the CTA. What's our next step? And in your case, you've got this amazing landing page there that you direct people to. So tell me something about that progression, right? We've got people attracting with people. Now what happens next? How do we follow up?
So Instagram for me, for years, I never tried to sell anybody anything. I wanted to work in tourism because I love to travel. So everything that I put on Instagram was more about awareness, and I was being paid by the tourism boards. That's how I monetized the work I was doing. So I never had a hard call to action to my audience at all. I was just like, how beautiful is Singapore? And now I'm in South Africa. You know, if you ever want to travel here, you can do this, this and that. The first time I ever tried to sell anything to my audience was actually not the link that's there now. That's my online course. It was for a conference that I run with 2 business partners. And we teach people how to get paid to travel. And we have no idea about conferencing or events or marketing. We're just a few girls that are successful in the travel space. So I started trying to sell this conference on Instagram, and it was a $500 ticket, which is probably more than you would expect people to drop from an Instagram post. And basically I just put a post up saying, hey, like, we're running this conference. And what amazed me was that the people that bought tickets, and they did, people bought tickets, they all said to me, and a lot of them emailed me on the side, like crazy, the level of the relationship that I have with these people. But people emailed me on the side and basically said, you know, $500 is a lot for a ticket, and I don't know if I'll learn anything from this, and you're promising a lot, but look, you know, 2 years ago I emailed you an inquiry and you answered me and you were really kind and you made time for me, and I've never forgotten that. And that's why I've decided to come to your event, because if you're that generous with your time, I'm sure I'll learn something from you. So since then, I've sold 5 conferences. I've sold out 5 conferences without any, this is with no marketing experience. I've actually just started working with a business coach this year with my business partners so that we can actually learn to start reaching a cooler audience. I also sell an online course, which has done very, very well. It's a little cheaper, but this will be of more interest to you. I sell a photography tour to Zimbabwe. I've just started. I'm about to do my first tours next month. It's $8,500 US plus flights, plus a few incidentals. So it's, you know, it's costing people probably $10,000 US, which is not an insignificant sum. And I sold out the first tour so quickly that I released a second tour and I sold that out as well. So it's only 12 places, but the point I'm getting to is that all of these things that I sell now, the reason I'm able to sell them is because my audience already knows me and already trusts me. So I have a really warm audience. And Instagram, you will find you're not going to make, it's very unlikely that you'll have somebody willing to invest millions of dollars in a project just because you put up an Instagram post. However, if you've networked and made friends and made contacts and made connections on this platform, and you're putting across great content and you're putting yourself out there, and people are seeing, you know, the dream behind what it is that you're doing, they'll buy into that. And eventually people will be messaging you and saying, hey man, like, what do you actually do? I'd love to know more about it.